which is nice. It's very nice, very nice. You know, we've had a really interesting experience with Justice Ginsburg. When I write to her, she writes me right back, but then he said, and others who work with her staff, every single thing has to be vetted. For example, at one point,
que si a uno le pagan unas semanas al año por año, ¿cierto? Cuando se va. Siempre es así, a eso le faltan tasas normalito. Yo estaba haciendo la cuenta y me dan como 35.000 pesos. ¿Aló? ¿Dónde estás? Ok. El calvo que como te ves bonito ya parado, ya está atrás. No, ese calvo le toca bollar mucha máquina allá, huevón. Dale, bota que aquí ve. Está quitando el saco para que hace moviendo sillas. Esa también sea.
Hay un papel que dice ahí que ya a las 3:30 empezamos el día 1 van a hacer cuenta, pero ya termina esa después.
A las 3:30 es ahora me estoy cambiando.
Ahí viene.
life-giving spirit, brooding over the waters at the beginning of time, spinning planets, dividing time, coaxing plant from soil, fin from sea, feather from air, humanity from the palm of your hand. We give thanks and praise.
Who lives deep within us, who parts the seas and makes a way where there is no way, who raises prophets, artists, and wisdom guides, who breathes in the lives of people, who leads from then to now, from surprise to possibility, from imagination to being. We give thanks and praise.
We, the 2019 graduates of Union Theological Seminary, with faculty, administrators, board and chair, facilities and support staff, steadfast friends, family, mentors, and company of ancestors whose presence we call in to this assembly, with one voice for this day and the days to come. We give thanks and praise.
may be seated. Welcome everyone to Union Theological Seminary's 181st commencement. And we have to start off with just a praise God to nature for having the sun come out and giving us this day.
There's so many people to welcome here today. I want to begin with a big word of thanks to all on the facility staff who work to make this courtyard, these trees, the flowers, the seats, the whole place we are so beautiful for us today. Thank you. And I want to thank all of the staff and administrators who work to put your programs together, to put this show on the road. I want to thank the Board of Trustees who is with us today, several of them for their guidance of this school. I want to pause and say a special word of thanks at this 181st graduation to our esteemed faculty who have been with you from the start to the finish of this. Let us give them a hand. I want to welcome the chair of the Board of Episcopal Divinity School. Thank you, Bonnie, for being here. And last but not least, I want to say a word of welcome to all of the friends and family who are here to cheer your graduates on. You have come from near and far. Thank you for being here. And then, at last, please stand up, graduates. I want to welcome the class of 2019. Amazing. You guys made the sun come out. Woo. Okay, you can sit down now. If it goes back into the clouds, you have to stand up and yell again. Oh, and I'm sorry to be here with a cold, and this is the day when I love to hug everyone, and I am going to be nicely bending a word of blessing to you as you go by, so everyone won't leave Union Theological Seminary with a terrible cold. As we begin today, I want to extend my deep appreciation to Mr. Dick Dunham, Chair Emeritus of the Board of Trustees of the Seminary, who is completing his exceptional service to the seminary as the chair of the board.
Thank you, President Jones. It's been a tremendous honor for me to serve as chair of the board of this great institution. On behalf of the board, I want to congratulate each graduating student for their extraordinary accomplishments. I also want to welcome our incoming chair of the board, Bill Candelaria, and know he will bring outstanding leadership to the board, to Union, for years to come.
And now it is my great pleasure to welcome Bill Candelaria, who yesterday was named the new chair of the Board of Trustees at our Board of Trustees meeting. Bill is a lawyer, and he is the first person of color, the first Latino, the first openly LGBTQ person to chair Union's Board of Trustees. Bill, welcome. We, the faculty, have the honor this afternoon to present to you and to all the members of the board our students who have completed every single requirement for their degrees.
Thank you, President Jones. It is a great honor to begin my time of service as chair of the Board of Trustees and to join with the entire Union community on this day of celebration. On the recommendation of the faculty of the seminary, the trustees yesterday voted to confer degrees upon members of the class of 2019. Dean Boyes will now present the members of this class.
We begin with the candidates for the degree Master of Divinity. Eric Robert Adamchuk. Kia Orane Baxter. Akila Huda Rahman Bixler. Jeffrey Cantu. Christine Hunkong Chong. Rebecca Collins Jordan. Nora Asadilo Cunningham. Lisha G. Epperson. Claudia Roja Ferreira. Alexis Francisco. Victoria Destiny Gillen. William Shepard Glennon. Hortensia Gooding. Jennifer Lynn Hagedorn. Shakira Tari Hall Louismer. Erin Joyce Hancock. Cassandra Beth Hartnett. Hassan Xavier Henderson Lott. Dutch Kitova Hoffman. Jenna Ann Johnson. Alyssa Paige Kaplan. Samuel John Kinsman. Sarah Lynn Klakowski. Karen Madrone. Kadilau Muthama Binyo. Mia Michelle McLean. Elijah L. McDavid III in absentia. Hannah J. Mills. Rhea Mojehe Nepwe. Bianca Ozeri. Pamela Watson Patton. Stephanie Quintana Martinez. Kiana Ruff. Gabriella Scafani. Scott Ryan Gotchi Sprunger. Heidi B. Taylor Murray. Jessica Tezen. Pika Trenkel. Jane Ellen Ulring. Marianne Asha Fergees. Philip van Turk. Tanika L. Williams. Yasmin Mohammed Yonis. Ryan C. Zurich. I ask the Reverend Dr. Violet D. Slee to present the candidate for the degree of Master of Divinity at Union Theological Seminary and Master of Science in Social Work from Columbia University School of Social Work. Dr. Lee.
Mr. Candelaria and President Jones, the following student receives the degree of Master of Divinity at Union Seminary and the Master of Science in Social Work from Columbia University School of Social Work. Tanzania E. Stone.
We continue with the candidates for the degree of Master of Arts, Master of Sacred Theology, and Master of Philosophy. Ape Brennan Torrell. Colin Eckstein. Miki L. No. I think Rodney Fitzgerald Hughes. Japaris Xavier Key. Connor Ramon Rasmussen. Yolanda Romo. Kwabna Sarfu Panin. Carmen Michael Smith. Naya Emmanuel Toussaint, who is also a candidate for the degree of Master of Arts at the New School for Social Research. Edwin Trinidad. Melanie Williams. Nehemiah J. Young. I now present the candidates for the degree of Master of Sacred Theology. Ashley Elizabeth Chambers, in absentia. Mu Lee. Janet Okang. Dina Sue Dina Potestio. Thelma Ranjat Singh. Benoni Sue. Arvind Theodore. Bernard Melvin White Sr. We have 5 candidates for the degree of the Master of Philosophy. I will read the names of the first 4 who are unable to be here today, so their degree is being given in absentia. Nkosi Dubois Anderson. Kristen Joy Apijo. Juan Carlos Morales. Jennifer Haddad Mosher. And Stanley Tyrone Talbert. I ask Professor Ewan Cameron to introduce the joint degree candidates who will receive degrees in cooperation with the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences of Columbia University. Professor Cameron.
Thank you very much indeed, Dean Boyce. Mr. Candelaria and President Jones, I present the following students who have received a degree from Columbia University in the joint program in religion with Union Theological Seminary. First, the candidates in Master of Arts, who are all graduating in absentia, so I shall read the list and I suggest we show our neighbourly admiration and appreciation at the end of the list. Graduating Master of Arts, Alexandra Elissa Himonas, Stevan Modrach Novakovic, Clayton James Rathel, Tianran Hang, Sarah McCall Hedgecock, Katrina Marie Hermanson, Kripanand Roy Komanapal, Connor Joseph Martini, and Ishai Alon Mishori. Mr. Candelaria and President Jones, it's also my honor and pleasure to present the following 3 students who have fulfilled the requirements for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, also graduating in absentia. You may read the titles of their dissertations in your programs. And in order, the candidates are Rex Delno Barnes, my advisee, Andrew McComber, and Elizabeth Tinsley.
Mr. Candelaria, President Jones, it is my pleasure to present the following candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. I present Octavio Pascal Carrasco in absentia, who has fulfilled the requirements for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. The title of his dissertation is The Long 1960s and the Religious Dimensions of Popular Music. I now ask Professor Gary Dorian, who has served as advisor, to present his candidate for the PhD.
Mr. Candelaria, President Jones, it is my pleasure to present Isaac B. Sharp, who has fulfilled the requirements for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. The overflowing 19th century title of his dissertation is The Other Evangelicals, the Marginalization of Liberal Modernist, Barthian, Black, Feminist, Progressive, Arminian Wesleyan Pietist, and Gay Evangelicals, and the Shaping of 20th Century U.S. American Evangelicalism, or, in their own image, How Evangelical Became the Proprietary Trademark of Straight, White, Masculinist, Inerrantist, Fundamentalist, Reformed, Conservatives. I present to you Dr. Isaac B. Sharp.
So I now invite Tony Ann Reynolds, who is a member of the Alumni Council and has been chosen to address the graduates as new alums.
Congratulations. I thought I was going to have something really eloquent to say, and as each of you marched, I just was like silently weeping all of these tears of joy. I'm so happy for you all. And I know that the journey through Union can be full of complexities and twists and turns, and I wanted to offer you something grounding. This land that Union is built on is land that was and is tended to by the Lenape people. And they've retained a memory of this island, of a time when a squirrel could run from one end of Manhattan to the other and never need to touch the ground, which feels like a very far stretch from the reality of the city that kept you during the time of your programs. But what it highlights is that this place is a place that's in the middle of transformation. It's always changing, sometimes darkly, sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a hurtful way, sometimes in ways that are around those edges. And I hope that, if nothing else, when you leave here, you know that this land, these trees, it's been these trees and this quad that have given you the air to sustain yourself, that you are completely capable, grounded and surrounded by a network of life that is ready to help you endure any other change that's about to come. And I hope that you take great rest. I hope that you celebrate big. And I hope you will let the Alumni Council stay in touch with you so that you can be more broadly welcomed into a greater network of Union alums who are out there trying to make it through this rough world. I really do love you all. I am praying your strength. Please, please, please be in touch with the Alumni Council so that we can continue to pray for one another. Congratulations.
Thank you, Tony. And now I invite Nehemiah Young to come forward, a member of the class of 2019. He's going to present the class gift.
Thank you. Good afternoon. We, the 2019 graduates of Union Seminary, have the great pleasure of announcing that as our class gift, we will be commissioning a portrait of former Union professor, Dr. Dolores Williams, the Paul Tillich Professor Emerita of Theology and Culture. We do so in honor of her trailblazing contribution to theology and her lasting impact on the lives of her students. Dr. Williams is an alumna of Union Theological Seminary who served on the faculty for many years. She is one of the mothers of womanist theology, which articulates theology in dialogue with the lived experiences and wisdom of Black women. Her groundbreaking 1993 book, Sisters in the Wilderness, The Challenge of Womanist God Talk, critiqued the limitations of mainstream feminist theology, which failed to reckon with white supremacy, and male-centered Black liberation theology, which failed to take sexism seriously. In the process, Dr. Williams and many other womanists built a rich and important theological discourse. Our gift will honor Dr. Williams by commissioning a portrait of her, immortalizing her enormous contribution to this school and to the wider theological world. Dr. Williams' children have actually chosen the very photograph that this portrait will be based upon. And this photograph was taken the night of her inauguration into the Union faculty in 1995. So we thank the members of the 2019 graduating class. We also thank the other members of the seminary community, continuing students, faculty, staff, administration, and alumna for joining us. And lastly, we are so excited and so grateful to announce that President Serene Jones has committed to personally helping us to complete this gift. We look forward to the portrait of Dr. Williams taking its place in the halls of Union, where she and her rich and deep theological legacy will continue to bear witness. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I cannot think of a better way to celebrate the graduation of the class of 2019 than to commit to this class gift. And I was about to start the recognition service, and I have come up too early, so I will sit down now for the anthem.
test. I will lift up mine eyes to the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord which made heaven and earth. God said God would not suffer your foot to be moved. The Lord which keepeth thee, he will not slumber nor sleep. Oh, the Lord is your keeper, the Lord is your shade upon your right hand, upon your right hand. Oh, the sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. God will preserve your soul, even forevermore. All of my help
Thank you, seminary and gospel choirs, and thank you, Hortensia. That was amazing. So, for the service of recognition, I would like to first call forward Dean Mary Boyce. We are going to recognize you.
Finally, after all these years.
After all these years, we're going to recognize you. For the past 6 years, Dean Mary Boyce has served as the Dean of Academic Affairs. Yes, for all these students. She brought her wisdom, grace, and keen sense of humor to one of our school's most difficult jobs. The truth is, the position of academic dean is not often one that receives public praise. And yet, it is an absolutely essential job to creating the courageous scholarship that draws students to Union and championing the courses that will transform them during their time here. Mary has given all of herself to this work, and we are thankful for her service. This summer, she will step down as dean, and after taking a semester sabbatical, she will return to continue as the Skinner and McAlpin Professor of Practical Theology. I would be remiss not to note how she's been a tireless advocate for students. The incredible diversity of our student body is one of our greatest strengths, but it requires a personalized approach to education, and Mary has the remarkable ability to see students' unique gifts, to nourish and support them. And her time as dean has witnessed an incredible expansion of our academic programs to give students more freedom and control over their education. This is a profound legacy that will long outlast her tenure. We look forward to all of the ways that she will continue to bless our community. And because she's not leaving, we cannot give her the title emeritus yet. All we can do today is say congratulations and thank you.
I won't get too far.
Now I would like to ask the Reverend Dr. Troy Messenger to come forward. So it's very hard to surprise Troy Messenger. Since he's writing the scripts for everything, we had to sneak this in. In his 24 years at Union, oh my God, the Reverend Dr. Troy Messenger has overseen, we estimate, about 2,500 chapel services and special events with artistry, generosity, and creativity. Collaborating with student planning groups, choir directors, musicians, you have choreographed imaginative and meaningful worship. You mentor students in the theology and the arts program. You've directed numerous student theses and projects, curated art exhibits, and teamed with other faculty in teaching courses in ritual performance, improvisation, worship, and preaching. Like the sound characteristics of the oboe he plays so beautifully, Troy's presence at Union has been robust, powerful, and full. His generosity and gentleness have enriched all who partner with him, whether in artistic ventures or in the more mundane but essential tasks of simply running a school. Union thanks Troy for the manifold gifts and commitment he has given to this community, and by vote of the Board of Trustees yesterday, we officially name him Director of Worship Emeritus.
Thank you.
It is now our pleasure to announce the prizes and special awards of Union Seminary and of Auburn Seminary. They are awarded by decision of the Union faculty to students who have been nominated for them by the academic fields or by prize committees. Students of all denominations and faith traditions are eligible for all prizes and awards, and you will find the description of each award in your program. This year we will be grouping the awards by categories. As the awardee's name is announced, we ask that all in the same category join others on the stage to receive the award. And the first 4 awards will be coming from Auburn Theological Seminary. It's my pleasure to introduce the president of Auburn, Catherine Henderson.
Dean Boys, President Jones, it's my pleasure to announce the 4 awards presented by Auburn Seminary. We have 2 Maxwell awardees. One is the mother of 5 children, an Episcopalian, whose digital ministry, including her blog, Give Me Grace, artistically renders her own spiritual journey. Lisha Epperson. And I think you're supposed to stay here. Wait for your friend. The second awardee holds degrees in voice performance and in acting, and is headed for ordination in the United Church of Christ, Samuel Kinsman. And Auburn awards the Robert Woodland Fellowship to a dual Indian-Canadian citizen who has taught English as a second language in 3 countries, is adding an STM degree to her 3 master's degrees, and whose commitment to teaching Bible now brings her to Union's doctoral program, Thelma Rangat Singh. And the Bennett Prize winners include a philosophically inclined licensed social worker, William Shep Glennon, who interned at the Center for Earth Ethic and is committed to interreligious engagement. And a second Bennett Prize winner is a North Carolinian who served as a United Methodist Mission Fellow in Grenada, Aaron Hancock. And finally, the Jonathan Neeland awardee is a United Methodist who studied at Hebrew University in Jerusalem, served as a legislative intern for Senator Amy Klobuchar, worked in communications for Catholics for Choice, and did her field education internship at St. Paul and St. Andrew United Methodist Church. Carolyn Brauender.
We continue now with the awards from Union Seminary. That's why the sun is coming back out. These prizes are awarded from the academic fields. The Win Wright Prize for the study of biblical languages is given to a philosopher of religion who has a BFA in printmaking from the Rhode Island School of Design and has ministered to the incarcerated in the Los Angeles County Jail and at Rikers Island, Hardy Hill. The awardee of the Meilenberg Prize in Biblical Scholarship has worked in strategic projects at the Hospital for Special Surgery, holds an MBA from Iona College, studied at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland, and is a Unitarian Universalist. Alison Cryer. The Interreligious Engagement Prize winner hails from the land of 10,000 lakes, loves the water, was a chapel minister this year, and is heading to Chicago's Loyola University to pursue a doctoral degree in climate and creation justice, Jane Ulring. The Daniel Day Williams Fellowship awardee is a soccer player, a Ghanaian, who majored in religion at Earlham College, served as co-president of Union Student Senate, and will be moving to Princeton Theological Seminary's PhD program. Pabna Sarfupanim. So, thank you all. The next prizes are in preaching, worship, and the arts. The Karen Ziegler Feminist Preaching Prize awardee has a master's degree from New York University in Arts and Public Policy, had a career in musical theater, is described as a woman with a heart for making the world more just. She is now an associate minister at Myers Park Baptist Church in Charlotte, North Carolina. Mia McLean. The Hobnut awardee is a proud Texan with a degree from Oklahoma Christian University who has especially relished how study of the Bible at Union has opened up new understandings of Christianity. She was a field education intern at the Brick Presbyterian Church, and she is on the ordination track in the Presbyterian Church. Hannah Faye Allred. We sent word to Hannah. She's coming back from Texas, and we had further word that her plane was delayed, so we awarded in absentia. Union grants the Robert E. Seaver Award to a professional dancer and former member of the Harlem Dance Theater, an author, an entrepreneur who designs custom apparel, She describes herself as a midlife mystic, Lisha Epperson. We award the Frederick Buechner Writing Prize to another Minnesotan who majored in religion and theater at Barnard College. Her thesis, a play entitled Heartstone, weaves the medieval with the contemporary, the imagined with the real, and the shrinking heart as scientific fact and artistic metaphor. Cassandra Hartnett. And that completes the awards in preaching, worship, and the arts. We now have 4 awards in ministry and social justice. The Julius Thomas Hanson Memorial Award goes to a woman who holds a Master of Public Policy from the University of Michigan. In addition to her professional advocacy for immigrant and refugee rights and for survivors of domestic violence, she has also worked with seafarers during a summer internship. Christine Chong. The Islam, Social Justice, and Interreligious Prize awardee is a Phi Beta Kappa graduate of the University of Georgia who is experienced in human rights advocacy and created a mentoring program for Somali youth in Atlanta. Yasmin Yonis. The Malcolm Boyd Veritas Award is presented to a graduate of Morehouse College. He is a violinist. He interned at Columbia's Center for African American Religions, Sexual Politics, and Social Justice, and he is headed to Rice University for a doctoral program. Hassan Henderson Lott. The Charles Augustus Briggs winner is a native of Puerto Rico. She is a community organizer who served as a legal assistant in the Immigrant and Religious Rights Project in Arizona. She's currently a health justice organizer in the Bronx, and this awardee wrote her thesis on Beyond the Womb, Christian Ethics, Women of Color, and the Struggle for Reproductive Justice. Stephanie Quintana Martinez. That's a great photo right there. We have one final award called the Scholarly Excellence Award. Union's highest prize for academic achievement is shared by two outstanding scholars whose work ethic, integrity, and scholarly gifts reflect their intellectual distinction. Both have interned in sites where they have worked with some of society's most vulnerable people, including immigrants, homeless, and incarcerated peoples. Both are imbued with Ignatian spirituality and a passion for justice. Hailing from two contiguous states on the West Coast, Union congratulates a Presbyterian from California and a Roman Catholic from Oregon, Christine Chong and Rebecca Collins Jordan.
In 1981, the Board of Trustees of the Union Theological Seminary in the City of New York established the Union Medal as the seminary's highest award to honor persons of faith whose lives reflect the mission of the seminary in the world. Union medalists include people engaged in works of ministry, in congregations, in public service, in government, in business, in education, and in the arts. We are pleased to announce that the Board of Trustees has voted to award this year's Union Medal to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Associate Justice of the United States Supreme Court. Receiving the award on behalf of Justice Ginsburg is her granddaughter, Clara Spera. We invite Judith Moyers to present the award.
Good afternoon. I wear my medal proudly. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, you have been a scholar, teacher of constitutional law and civil procedure, the first woman professor granted tenure at Columbia Law School, a crusading advocate for the rights of women, a distinguished federal judge, the 107th Supreme Court Justice, and the second woman to occupy its bench. But most importantly, you have been an oracle of stunningly persuasive argument, couched in straightforward language, and a touchstone of clarity for those seeking to educate the court. Faster than most legal minds, more powerful than diverging views, and able to leap specious reason in a single bound. You oversaw numerous cases dealing with gender discrimination while at the ACLU, and personally argued before the Supreme Court, persuading the court that first, there was such a thing as sex discrimination, and second, that it violated the Constitution. And you won 5 of 6 cases, forever changing the landscape of gender-based law. Throughout your career, you have championed the equal citizen statute, constantly reminding all that the Constitution protects the rights of everyone. Your grounding, balance, fairness, and decency have been a formidable force for consensus building. Appointed to the Supreme Court, you wrote your first majority opinion in United States versus Virginia, one of the court's most important sex discrimination cases in years. More recently, you have provided a vigorous voice of dissent to conservative majority opinions, rebuking, in particular, the majority's willful demolition, it's her quote, of the Voting Rights Act. Justice, justice you have pursued and continue to pursue. Your life, your unflagging dedication to equality for all, and your humanitarian empathy embody the highest ideals and aspirations of union. For your transformative advocacy and litigation, and your impassioned dissent and reality testing on a court rigidly divided by ideology, we award you Union's highest honor, the Union Medal.
And I am happy to announce that Justice Ginsburg has agreed to come back to Union on February 12th, 2020. So a good reason for alums to return.
Hi, everybody. My grandmother is very sorry she couldn't be here today. I am wearing her blazer, though, so I'm hoping to channel her as much as possible. So she wrote a few words that I will share with you all now. I am deeply honored to receive the Union Medal and pleased that my granddaughter, Clara Spera, will accept it for me. I have written a few lines for this commencement ceremony, and I have asked Clara to deliver them for me. Some time ago, a college student asked if I could help her with an assignment. She had one question and hoped to compose a paper by asking a diverse set of people to respond. What, she asked, did I think was the largest problem for the 21st century? My mind raced past terrorist threats, privacy and the electronic age, the lack of accessible and affordable healthcare in this country, the future of our planet, and even outer space. I landed instead on Thurgood Marshall's praise of the evolution of the concept, we the people, to include once excluded, ignored, or undervalued people. And then I thought of our nation's motto, e pluribus unum, of many, one. The challenge still in this century and in this country is to make or keep our communities places where we can tolerate, or better yet, celebrate our differences while pulling together for the common good. Of many, one is the key aspiration, I believe. It is my hope for our country and our world. On the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah, a special prayer is read in some synagogues. It contains these lines: birth is a beginning and death a destination. And life is a journey from ignorance to knowing, from foolishness to discretion, and then, perhaps, to wisdom. Hearty congratulations on the degrees you have earned. May you gain satisfaction, pleasure, and wisdom as you proceed along life's course. Thank you.
A reading from the book of the Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom is radiant and unfading, and she is easily discerned by those who love her, and is found by those who seek her. She hastens to make herself known to those who desire her. One who rises early to seek wisdom will have no difficulty, for she will be found sitting at the gate. To fix one's thoughts on wisdom is perfect understanding, and one who is vigilant on her account will soon be free from care, because wisdom goes about seeking those worthy of her, and she graciously appears to them in their paths and meets them in their every thought.
The beginning of wisdom is the most sincere desire for instruction, and concern for instruction is love of her. May God grant me to speak with judgment and to have thoughts worthy of what I have received. For God is the guide even of wisdom and the corrector of the wise. For both we and our words are in God's hand, and all our understanding and skill in crafts.
There is in wisdom a spirit that is intelligent, holy, unique, manifold, subtle.
Mobile, clear, unpolluted.
Distinct, invulnerable, loving the good, keen.
Irresistible, beneficent, humane.
Steadfast, sure, free from anxiety.
All-powerful, overseeing all.
And penetrating through all spirits that are intelligent, pure, and altogether subtle.
For wisdom is a reflection of eternal light, a spotless mirror of the working of God, and an image of God's goodness.
Although wisdom is but one, she can do all things, and while remaining in herself, she renews all things. In every generation, wisdom passes into holy souls and makes them friends of God and prophets, for God loves nothing so much as a person who lives with wisdom.
Let us pray. O divine Spirit of all that is beautiful, good, and just, we pause to give thanks again for our ancestors and elders, past, present, and future, and to acknowledge the original caretakers of this land, the Lenape people, whose continued presence and way of life we honor, and to which we offer our great respect. Amen. Okay, class of 2019, it's time to get out of here, and I have a really bad cold, so I've never had to do public speaking under conditions as, let's say, congested as these. But every year when it comes time for me to give the graduating class their final charge, I struggle with what to say that hasn't already been said in your classes or with your friends or in worship or in your field placement, because Union is a place where we are constantly giving each other charges. It's one big education of charges, directions, missions, things you should be doing in the world. What else is this education but a sentence that reads something like this: go out into the world and use what you learn to make it a better place. Know that we are always proud of you, and we send you forth with love and support in the full confidence that the love of God goes with you and will sustain you from now until the end of your days, until the time when you become the ancestors upon whose shoulders future generations shall stand. Our charge is also summed up so nicely by the prophet Micah, who put it simply: seek justice, love kindness, and walk humbly with your God. I'm reading a series of novels by the Canadian author Louise Penny, in which the main character, Armand Gamache, tells his graduating students that there are only 3 things they need to remember to be truly good leaders. Like Micah's charge, like Union's mission, they're very counterintuitive and yet simple things. He tells them, never forget to say, I don't know. I'm sorry. I need help. In other words, be humble enough to admit when you don't know something. Apologize when you're wrong, because you will be wrong often. And remember to ask for help, because seeking justice is a collective endeavor and no one is asked to go it alone. Now, it's interesting to me how charges like these three are timeless. They could have been spoken 1,000 years ago, and if we survive, they could most likely be said 1,000 years into our future. They are timeless quite simply because they are true. But each time in which they are spoken, they sound different, depending upon the moment in history in which they are uttered. What does it mean to say them today? These same words at this moment in time. And here's the hard part, my friends. As we celebrate today, we recognize that we are standing amidst the crumbling ruins of the vicious age of empire. And you are taking up your calls at a moment in time when our rulers, with their last dying wicked breaths, are sucking the life out of the people and the land. Evil is not hidden away, but proudly wears its garments of greed and hatred as if they were beautiful, not the horrid, murderous clothes they are. You are being called to seek justice at a point in time where the earth is literally trembling and cracking open, where the thunderous roar of glacier ice flows melting can be heard even in the heat of the barren Amazon. You are being called to love kindness in an age where meanness passes for normal. You are being called to walk humbly with your God in a world ruled by arrogant masters who claim power, money, and technology can make them God. Where children are put in cages, unarmed teenagers are shot down in our streets, women's bodies are imprisoned by laws that rip choice from their hands, where despair is spreading across the land like a warm blanket of numbness, promising us an escape if we're willing to concede all agency and hope to the comfort of oblivion. It's not a very pretty picture to invoke on this day of celebration, but there it is. This is sadly the world bequeathed to you. To use the words of Gamache, I am sorry. I am sorry for my generations and my own failures for handing this to you. And I don't know how to stop what's happening. I don't know. But I do know that I, you, all of us need help if we're going to turn the course of this wicked river of despair and hatred around. So, class of 2019, you are stepping, each one of you, onto the stage of world history at a precarious moment. Indeed, few people in all the generations of humanity have stepped onto a stage as fragile and as volatile as this. And yet you have been given this time, this call, this age, this moment. It's breathtaking when I behold your call. For it's true, we don't get to choose when we're born, nor do we get to choose the time in which we're called to serve. But each of you do get to choose whether or not you have the courage and the depth of love and commitment that it takes to charge into that world and join the struggle against evil, the struggle for justice and goodness. And each of you are going to have to make that decision over and over again. Today, at Union Theological Seminary in the city of New York, on May 17th, 2019, I am here to tell you that you are strong enough to endure whatever you encounter. You are fiercely loving enough not to concede your hearts to hatred. You are brave enough to be vulnerable and open-hearted when hearts are hardening and closing. You are sturdy enough to forgive each other your failures and to keep struggling together. You are brilliant enough to imagine the dawn of a new age that most people cannot even begin to fathom. I know you all, and you all are humble enough not to be felled by your mistakes and to resist the pull of power, and you have faith enough burning inside of you, a kindled fire of mercy and love that is powerful enough to withstand the gale-forced winds of this age long enough to pass along to your children and to their children's children a vision of what a land of milk and honey tastes like, feels like, smells like. Your resilient joy will uphold you. And I promise you, the Spirit of God will not let you falter. Godspeed, my friends. My prayers, our prayers, Union's prayers go with you. Amen.
I invite you to stand with me in any way that you feel comfortable in your spirit, with your arms, with your voice, and to sing with me, I am on my way to Freedom Land. You have been charged to go out and make this place the bountiful beauty of freedom that it is. So sing with me by just repeating these simple words with me. I'm on my way to Freedom Land. I'm on my way to Freedom Land. I'm on my way to Freedom Land. On my way, oh yes, I'm on my way. I'm on my way to Freedom Land. I'm on my way. Oh yeah.
Please remain standing and please join us in prayer with these words from the New Zealand Prayer Book. Eternal Spirit, earth maker, pain bearer, life giver, source of all that is and that shall be, Father and Mother of us all, loving God in whom is heaven. The hallowing of your name echo through the universe. The way of your justice be followed by the peoples of the world. Your heavenly will be done by all created beings. Your commonwealth of peace and freedom. Sustain our hope and come on earth. With the bread we need for today, feed us. In the hurts we absorb from one another, forgive us. In times of temptation and testing, strengthen us. From trials too great to endure, spare us. From the grip of all that is evil, free us. For your reign and the glory of the power that is love, now and forever. Amen.
The doors open and our ways part. The future stretches out before each of us. You shall go out in joy and be led forth in peace. Mountains and hills shall break into singing before you. Wild trees clap their hands. Pine trees grow where there were only thorns. Myrtle where there was only briars. We honor your achievement and look to you with hope. Let us go forth, rejoicing in the power of the Spirit. Thanks be to God. Okay, I better get there.